Hello, Internet!
Playing all them video games in 2013. It's a game that I got in 2013. This year is already better than 2012.
Oh, yeah.
By like 10 times. It's crazy.
Really,
Let me
really,
tell
really
ya.
strong. And this
Is
game is the strongest.
by far, so
And
far.
it's Metal Gear Rising Revengeance.
We got the crappy Walmart version that has the weird little watermark for Walmart on it saying they got a special soundtrack CD in it.
You got it.
I was actually hoping for a greatest hits thing
Mm-hmm.
right across the top.
Yes.
And I was hoping for the art to be a picture of the game on the front and tilted a little bit.
Yes.
Like those Konami's Best things on the DS.
Yeah, yeah.
Check them out.
Should be a picture of the box, with the picture of the, like, a picture of this box with the Walmart thing on it.
If you
Yes, it's perfect.
go look up the Konami's Best version of Castlevania, Dawn of Sorrow or whatever on the DS.
Mm-hmm.
It's the best.
You're not paying for a game. You're paying for like a re-release of kind of like those DVDs you buy at the dollar store that have like old public domain movies. Yeah.
Yes, I always buy them.
Yeah.
4 films, horror collector set, 4 movies in one. How can you go wrong? We have The Galaxy Invader and Kong Island on one DVD.
Wow.
Double whammy. Maximum Overdrive on DVD. That's just one movie, but that's pretty good. We got Death Race 2000. That's just one movie. And we got 3 movies in one. Voyage to the Prehistoric Planet, The Phantom from Space, and Unknown World on DVD.
Metal Gear Solid is a dead series. It ended with the 4th game, but they're milking it based on the property.
Exactly.
So the game itself is a ghost.
And if you look inside the shell, you can see that the ghost in the shell is actually right here.
Mm-hmm.
And the ghost is this really crappy manual.
Oh, good.
I got a little pamphlet.
Oh.
That's it, it's black and white.
What the hell is this?
What is it?
It's Konami Gear Up. Lots of Metal Gear Solid swag.
This is so you can look like a faggot when you're out in town.
Mm-hmm.
You can buy these shirts and be like, hey bro, us gamers, we're so cool. I love it.
Here's how thin it is.
Yeah, it's a little pamphlet. That's Metal Gear Rising. Revengeance.
Yeah,
In a
that's the end
nutshell.
of it.
That's the end of the review.
Mm-hmm. We're done.
So, what you can do now is click off the video,
Mhm.
knowing you got a fulfilling review. Or you can stay for the behind-the-scenes stuff where we talk about the game. It's your choice.
Yeah.
So,
I wouldn't.
this, and this. There.
Yep. Here's these 4 games, and you just take these, take out the fluff, and you got this.
Exactly. I did beat it a few times. Once you get used to the parrying and just the way the combat works, and the fact that you can use Ninja Run with R1 to slash around as you're moving, the combat becomes kind of a little too easy on everything under hard.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't recommend playing it on normal.
Well, you were saying that on normal, all the enemies just take turns.
Yeah, they do.
Like they don't all attack you at once.
Yeah.
You know the God of War is the same way, and that's why I didn't enjoy it the first time I played through it.
Yeah. I got
like it's unbelievably easy on easier difficulties.
I played it on very hard. I beat it on normal, hard, very hard, and Revengeance.
Oh yeah.
I got the most fun out of very hard.
The reason this system is sort of controversial is because it doesn't have rolling or any kind of dodging really, and it doesn't have a lock on.
Yeah.
I don't get the lack of lock on. Like,
What?
I find
There's
that...
lock on.
What? 3?
Yeah, you gotta hit R2. See how that little symbol is above him there?
Yeah.
Little circle?
Yeah. For God's sake.
Look. Take it off. R2.
Yeah, yeah.
So now I'm gonna put him in my sights. Hit R2. And I
Oh,
got
I
him
never-
back now, see?
Yeah, I don't know why I never thought to do that. Whatever.
Triangle, heavy attack. Square, light attack. If you're a human in 2013, you're aware of these controls.
Mm-hmm.
Every action game uses them. There's no way around it. I'm sorry. X is jump. The brunt of the combat comes from parrying
Yeah,
and blade mode.
Just parry everything.
Yeah.
Until you can cut somebody. You have different combos, sorta, and some of them, like you have some that can trip people, and you have some that can deal with aerial enemies.
Yeah.
But like, most of them are kind of samey. One problem I noticed is, like, I don't know if it's a problem. I just haven't figured it out. But jumping attacks. How do you do that shit?
How do you do jumping attacks?
No, how do you, like, deal with jumping attacks? When somebody leaps into the air and lands behind you.
Well, you parry behind you.
Well, yeah, but how do you... if something's off screen and it jumps, how do you know where to go?
Just try to keep the camera above you. I don't know. It's weird. I know what you're saying. The camera's a problem, but I got really good at it after a while because I've played it so many times.
Yeah, the
Like,
camera kind of throws itself around when you're not locked on.
I'm like very hard and up where enemies just start jumping at you from all directions. You gotta figure out you're fighting one guy, but parrying the guy behind you.
Yeah.
So you gotta work that little analog stick until it's worn down to nothing.
Oh yeah. You're gonna lose your controller playing this game. There are a lot of wobbly, waggly.
Yeah, you gotta.
QTEs too.
Here we got this shithead. That's Sam. He's like a bad guy. He's doing bad stuff, so you gotta stop him.
Really?
Yeah, and you kill him eventually, but
yeah,
that's a spoiler.
You can tell. You kill him?
Yeah, you do.
Oh man, like these cutscenes were introducing all these bosses with these themes, and I was thinking, man, I wish I'd eventually like have to fight those guys, but I never bet on it.
Yeah, there he is, Sam.
Yeah, everybody has that smirk.
I know.
Kind of weird.
Great. Gameplay, very fluid, runs at a very high frame per second.
Yeah, it's really smooth and consistent, and it really looks well.
Yeah, and that's that was really a reaction to the fact that you're able to cut things.
Mm-hmm.
If it ran at a poor frame rate without you cutting stuff, the game would just explode. If you tried to cut stuff.
Yeah.
A main selling point for this game is, and it even says in the back of the box, is cut what you will.
Mm-hmm.
What this means is that you could like cut something like this, or like this, or like that, or any possible range. It's dependent on the angle of your analog stick. So wherever you want to cut something, you can cut it, and it will break apart that way and stay like that. Eventually, it will disappear because it's only on such and such a hardware. You know, it will just melt if you have too many objects going on. But it's very great what they were able to achieve. The cutting remains satisfying for the whole game. Like, I'm still cutting stuff right now just to cut it, just out of anger.
Like, I didn't even notice any frame rate drops at all.
No.
Like, you can just go up to a bunch of boxes and just slice and slice and slice.
Yeah.
And the little number in the corner will say, like, 120 pieces.
Yeah.
And
that's another thing that really adds to the cutting.
They'll all be tumbling all over each other, and
not
it
only
won't
can
slow
you
down at all.
not only can you cut stuff however you want, it'll tell you in a counter on the side of the screen how many pieces you cut it into.
Yeah.
Which is perfect. So it's very satisfying like that. Adolescent power fantasy in its most like refined form. There's nothing else I can say.
Yeah. Well, it is about people using swords because they're better than guns.
Yeah, you press L1 to initiate blade mode. See what I'm doing here?
Yeah.
I'm actually controlling the direction of the slash with my analog stick, which works perfect and completely shits on Skyward Sword.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword's is done now, in terms of sword combat. See how I parry behind me?
Yep.
Figure it out.
Oh yeah, chop out that huge tree.
Look at this.
Yeah.
This is freaking great.
It's not even slowing down at all. Whoa.
I'm so freaking angry. God damn it. I had a really rough day today. Get the hell out of my way. Another thing that's great. Boss fights. Once you beat the boss, it will just let you go into free cut mode.
Mm-hmm.
And you can just cut them just out of spite.
Yeah.
And you cut them into like 1,000 pieces after you're done.
Uh-huh.
Just to show them what's what.
Yeah. And the bosses are really neat too.
Yeah, well, you'd think in a game that allows you to do this with your sword,
Yeah.
you'd have some neat bosses, and you do. So,
Uh-huh.
suck at Skyward Sword. The game just goes the extra mile to really make use of the way the sword works. It's clearly next gen, or this gen, I mean. This couldn't have worked on last generation systems at all.
Yeah.
Unlike most games now that really look like they could have just been equally as fun
Mm-hmm.
on the last gen consoles, really. This one could not have been.
Like, I think, like, just looking at all of this game, I think it just general quality is exceptional.
Yeah.
Like, obviously a lot of money and a lot of, like, skill went into it.
Yeah.
Because it's well optimized and somehow works, like, looks better than games that look a lot worse.
Yeah. Like, look at these character models.
Mm-hmm.
Look really good. That's like an in-game model. Like that, the way that looks there. It looks the same when you're fighting him. Like later
Yeah.
on. Like it's... Yeah. Oh god. Oh. No. Good thing he's just a robot.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody's a robot in this.
And here you're fighting a Metal Gear Ray all,
Yeah,
like,
what?
right off the bat.
What's Raiden's problem with Metal Gear Rays?
I know.
Like, you gotta fight one here, and you have to fight like friggin' 15 in MGS2.
Mm-hmm.
Not kidding. He must have just nightmares about Rays now. Yeah! Get rid of that armor.
Oh.
I had to learn how to do these
Oh
things
yeah,
to do
I've done that before.
Yeah, I never knew
Like,
that.
I stood back and tried to parry that charge, because
You know,
I knew you could... Like, this is Platinum, and I know you can do that. They
you
just
can,
do that kind of thing.
You can actually parry his tail, too.
Oh.
And you get a trophy for it.
Oh, really?
It's because it's not a normal thing to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, normally, you wouldn't be around when he's doing that. But
Yeah.
if you do, you get a trophy for it. So you trophy hunters out there,
I can imagine the timing's pretty shitty.
there you go. This game's soundtrack is off the charts in terms of its adolescent enjoyment factor. It's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I friggin' love it. I listen to it all the time. It's
Yeah, I like how it was done, too.
it's one of those things like Twilight Princess was doing it for a bit. You know, where you're fighting the boss
Uh-huh.
and shit gets desperate and then the music changes
Yeah.
dynamically.
Uh-huh.
This game does that, except it starts adding in lyrics,
Yeah, yeah.
which it works out phenomenal here.
Mm-hmm. Especially during this fight where everything's, like, after the main fight, everything's pretty much scripted.
Yeah.
So it can really...
Now, that is a point of contention here. A lot of people don't like scripted and anything. Like, see, I had to get him down to like 5% health for him to do this.
Uh-huh.
So does that make the fight scripted?
It's a scripted sequence.
I know it's a scripted sequence, but still people get really pissed with this. I'm not really sure why. Like, to me, when he slashed me and made me do that thing, that was the end of the fight. This is the cutscene. And
Yeah.
people get really confused about, oh, it's QTEs and it's it's this and that, but you had to win to get here. It doesn't really throw QTEs to you in the middle of the fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it never starts doing that for the rest of the game. So, it never really bothered me. But I think if you really wanted to get mad about it, or you had a really strong conviction against no QTEs in games ever, blah, and you're one of those guys, well, you'd probably hate it. Because there's no change in their minds at this point, no matter what you do. If you have to press a button that's contextual in any way, they'll just put down the controller.
Yeah.
This is no good. Thanks, Resident Evil 4 and God of War. Oh.
Oh, remember the last boss of Saints Row 3?
No.
It was a QTE.
Oh.
Of course he didn't. There was nothing to it.
Damn it, that's why. What the hell was it?
Okay, well, the final boss, I won't say who it is just the final boss, and, you find him, you're in like a, well, you're somewhere, and there's a cinematic sequence where you have to press buttons. And,
That sounds awesome.
it was. I was just like...
I can't remember it.
I was just like, man, I'm not going to remember this. But then I did, because it's like an exceptionally bad example of QTEs.
Another thing, holding R1 lets you use Ninja Run. That's how I dynamically jumped over these things here.
Yeah. We're excellent reviewers here at Ginger Switch.
Secret.
We talk about things and then explain them later.
Yeah. This thing, all you gotta do is go up here and vertically slash.
Oh.
And you can't get hit by anything.
Huh.
I had to figure this out because one hit would kill me in Revengeance.
Yeah.
So you had to learn how to do it without getting hit. That's how you do that.
You know, and that's cool. I like games with tricks like that.
Yeah, the game is careful to put the tools in your hand to allow you to not get hit. See?
Uh-huh.
Compare that too.
Yeah.
This looks scripted, but he's actually dynamically reacting to the missiles. Every time I do that, it's different.
Well, it's scripted, yeah.
Yeah, it's scripted. But I mean, he jumps.
It's cool scripted.
Yeah, he jumps on the missiles as they're coming at him.
Yeah.
It's not a movie. I think you can even screw it up if you stop running. Raiden goes through some crazy shit in this game, especially with the last boss, which I'm not going to spoil because it's boss of the year. At first I was like deadly certain that Monsoon was my favorite fight, but now I think it's the last boss.
Oh.
It might be, I don't know. Fought it a few times now and I like it.
Yeah. If you have something that that blows this out of the water, then it's probably extremely
It's crazy. Yeah. Look at that. Everybody's a robot, right? They have augmented vision, right? They can see like crazy. And they're ridiculously strong. And the only way to kill the robot is slashing it in half, because a bullet won't do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you sneak?
Yeah.
That's the idea. Some people are saying, like, well, our company, like our PMC group, can just build a better robot. So why would you sneak?
Mm-hmm.
And they're saying, like, in this future, Solid Snake doesn't really have a place. Which is conceivable.
Wait, when does this take place?
It's
Is
after
Snake
MGS4.
even alive? Oh.
I think Snake might be dead.
Yeah.
This is the latest game in the canon.
Mm. Makes sense, because everything's like turbo future.
Yeah, I mean, like, this is an action game, but you're not playing as Snake.
Yeah.
Snake wouldn't be doing this.
Well, Raiden
you're playing as Raiden.
Raiden is just a different character.
I know.
And he's a cyborg. Like, he's a cyborg ninja, and so
Yeah.
of course he's going to play different.
He could sneak, but he's a robot. They'll just put him back together.
Mm-hmm.
So he's more reckless. It makes sense. Originally, this game was Metal Gear Solid Rising,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were like, no, and they slashed it. And they said, this is Metal Gear.
Slash it, yeah.
This is Metal Gear Rising. It's a different thing. And people are still complaining that this game... They're complaining that it's an action game. And they're complaining that... They're complaining as if they ruined the series, which they did not. Because there's already another Metal Gear game coming out. that plays as a classic stealth game, right? So that argument is invalid. Now that has nothing to do with whether or not you like action games. Like, just if you say, I don't like action games, and I don't like this game because it's an action game, well, that's different.
Some people like just hate platinum games just because they're so crazy. They're never like nothing. Everything's the cool. Like everything's done for cool factor, and nothing is just like the story's sometimes a little serious, but then it just goes back to crazy, crazy, crazy in your face all the time. So some people just don't like that. I can accept that, but I'm quite fond of it myself.
Yeah, it's called the rule of cool.
Uh-huh.
If something's cool, put it in the game.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it fits in with the story, but that is entirely based around the genre of the game and the audience they want to get.
Uh-huh.
You know, like if you wouldn't make this game crazy, crazy, crazy all the time in your face nuts if you were trying to get like the Splinter Cell audience or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like takes a little bit of a tact to deliver this experience. The last boss, I parried an attack. It did 200% damage, and then 30% damage on the next health power up.
Yeah.
No, 130. So it was like I did 200. I parried his punch, and I lost 200% health, and then got healed by my healing item and lost 130% health.
Mm-hmm.
So I went down to 70 health. So it was like 200, 0, 270. It's the hero's tale. You know, it's bringing a character to the brink of death, killing them, then bringing them back, and then the low point in the journey, the redemption, the revenge, and then saving the world. Like, pretty much every good hero movie game, whatever, uses that formula somewhere. And this game uses it in full effect.
Whatever.
I'm not complaining. He's getting old looking. Compared to MGS2.
Yeah.
He's a little bit more square faced and he's a little bit like wider and less feminine looking in this.
So if he just keeps dying over and over again, will he eventually just be a robot?
Yeah.
Then, okay, if his brain gets destroyed and they rebuild his brain cybernetically, will he be the same person or will he be a different person?
I don't know. From what I understand from like concept art and stuff they were showing, all Raiden is just his brain and the top half of his skull. Like his jaw is gone.
Yeah.
So it's just that and the top part of his spine and a nervous system.
Yeah.
That's just kind of floating there.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. So yeah, he probably can't die now. I don't know, they'll probably just put him back together.
Probably do that every time. Time you die.
It's pretty tragic, really. Definitely check this shit out. It's where it's at. It's happening. It's the bee's knees. It's the cat's pajamas. And it's also the bee's pajamas. Potentially. Like, graphics, you got like friggin' 8. Like, sound, you got like 10. Like, replayability, you got like 10, because it's got a really good New Game Plus cycle. You know?
Yep, you know.
Gameplay remains... The enemy types get a little predictable by the end, but... I mean... I'd say like a 7 for that, which is fine in the overall scheme of things.
Mm-hmm.
Controls, that divides some people. Some people like it, some people don't like it. Camera can be a problem. I'm going to have to give that a 6.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I can see where it could be done better. It might not bother you. Your mileage may vary. It's a fulfilling experience that, while slightly short on first playthrough, lends itself really well to playing again on higher difficulties. Which it sets up perfectly for you to do that. and I'm trying to have this civil, informative conversation
683.
while he cut this tree into 683 parts. That's this game in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Political dialogue and commentary, 790 parts. Meanwhile, somebody's on the codec going, and he's talking about, like, friggin', Raiden, you have to go save those POWs. Don't you realize what the news is going to be like tomorrow morning? On Revengeance, there is some areas where stealth killing helps you. It can save you because they put...
Well, it's useful. It's just...
They put enemy mobs together that are very annoying to fight together on Revengeance. And if you can stealth kill them at all, you're going to want to. By the end of Revengeance, at the very last areas. The manual's terrible. Makes me want to die. What do you think about it? Think it's a game? Is it a movie?
Well, half and half. It's got long cutscenes, but overall, it is a game.
It's got long cutscenes? You play MGS4?
No, it's got... No, I didn't mean that.
Okay.
Not for a Metal Gear game, by any means.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not, if you were playing MGS4 and you're like, dog, I don't like these long-ass cutscenes, and they were like, yeah, bro, hold on, I'll hook you up, and they hooked me up with this game, and the cutscenes were kind of shorter, which is a lot better.
Yeah. Well, here's a cutscene for you.
Oh, yeah.
Chop up the stump. I'm not making my way through the building.
See, later on, when we render this video, I'm going to go cut it up, and then we're going to see if the scene makes the cut.
Well,
And it did make the cut, so that's going in the video. 2013 Game of the Year, go check it out. Even though it came out in February, still Game of the Year.